I went downstairs and his face was covered in blood.
Do you know what they were hitting him with?
A gun.
The desperate search for a husband and father.
I think you know exactly who did this, and I think you're scared.
Titus County 911, what's your emergency?
I have a home invasion. My niece is tied up.
She's tied up.
She is tied up and gagged. I am untying her. I can't get to the door.
What is the victim's name?
Samantha Wohlford.
What starts out as a terrifying home invasion turns into something else entirely.
In the first half of the case, we watched as Samantha Wohlford tried to convince the police that she and her husband were the victims of a home invasion. In this video, we will see how the facade of victim crumbles to reveal the cold-blooded murderer under the surface.
We're going to get you all the water and coffee you need, all the coffee breaks you need, but this is a very, very serious matter. So this, we don't want to halfway do anything, and you don't either.
No.
So
I
go
want him
ahead.
found. I want to do whatever I can possible to have him found.
Okay, what I want you
If
to
there's
do,
any
don't
thing-
write on the back of these. Don't skip lines, but write as neat as you can, and I don't care if we're here another 2 hours. Remember, this is very important. This is your life. This is his life you're talking about. So we don't need, go ahead and start from the beginning of what happened. I want you to write it down tonight, and then go ahead and put in there, I don't care about what we talked about, and put these guys, how you know them, how you met them, how you know Jeremy, why you think Jeremy might could have been possibly the one. Now, if you don't know that he did it, then don't put in there he did it. Just put in there if they had masks, but the build was the same as his.
There was, yeah.
Whatever
the
you
was
said.
The same, and there was previous.
Right. I need in detail.
friction.
I want you to be a woman now. You know how women are. Y'all very detailed. Y'all ask all these questions and stuff. My wife is, when she asks something, she'll ask me 15 million questions because I want you to be a female and I want you to be very detailed. You're gonna have, you may need more than this, I doubt it. But just don't go past the lines. When you get through with one page, just start on the next. And then we'll just keep them, we'll just number them. Okay, we're gonna start right here. We're gonna start right here with page 1, and we can do those names in here at the very end or something, or we can just do a separate one. This is gonna be page 1, and we don't know how many pages you're gonna have. So just keep them in order. When you fill this one up, flip it over, and if Chris will help you, we'll fill all this out.
I wrote on the back of that one.
Well, then let's just make this one page 1. That's okay. But what we want to do is if you mess up on your spelling, you want to respell something, don't scroll big lines through it. What I want you to do is mark one line through it, initial, and then rewrite it. And then when you get down to the bottom here, don't go past that line and don't go outside the lines. Don't turn around going back. Go to your next page, and this will be page 2, your next one. And
You guys like to kill a lot of trees, don't you?
Yeah. But hey, it's for your benefit. Okay?
Like I said, I will cooperate however I
And
can.
you are, I agree, you are, 100%. You've got, believe it or not, without even knowing it, you've helped us hugely by coming up with these names. Because I don't think, me personally, I don't think it's anybody after his daddy or money at all.
The detective does not believe that Ibarra was attacked as some sort of retaliation against his father. This story is weak, and the details don't make sense.
I think that was just
A story?
story, right.
Well, I'm just giving what happened.
Okay. Well, you're going to be here a little bit, so take your time. If you need to use the bathroom, let us know. You can go back in there. We'll get you more coffee or water, whatever you want, okay?
Okay.
Pull these door crack. This is kind of hot in here. I might turn that air. Turn that air down a little bit. How you doing? Hey, there is one other way that we can make absolutely sure and clear you. We can give you a polygraph test.
Okay.
Would you take a polygraph? Okay. I'm gonna actually see if I can't get him here this morning to go ahead and do it while you're here, so you gotta come back. If you can pass that polygraph, there ain't no way the DA'd ever try to file charges, even if they come back and want to finger at you. There just ain't no way. That would absolutely clear you, no matter if them guys come back.
This is not true. A polygraph might give a strong indication about whether or not a person is telling the truth, but it is not 100% conclusive, and passing it will not prevent a suspect from further investigation.
Because I have a feeling that it's going to be one of these guys here, this Jeremy, that did this.
Well, like I said, my husband told me that he's the one that came and picked his car up, which initially pointed the finger at him breaking into my house and doing $4 grand worth of damage. I have contacted the police multiple times and told them that. It's
Okay.
in my record.
So you wouldn't have a problem in doing a polygraph this morning?
Would you mind me speaking to my mother before I completely agree to that?
Well, but now if you have nothing to hide, why would you want to talk to your mama?
Because it's nothing against you personally, but just cops in general, you hear such negative things and how they are not out to help you, and CPS is the same way, and I just kind of want to get my mom and dad's opinion on if it's in my best interest. I don't have anything to hide, and I personally don't have a problem doing that, but I don't want to do something that's going to end up biting me in the ass in the end either. I kind of want my parents,
Well, you know what? You know what I think? I think it's not gonna be long. I think they're locking your butt up, what I think. I think you've been lying to me this whole thing. You did get them right. I think you're a liar, what I think. I think you know exactly who did this, and I don't buy your freaking story for a minute. That's what I think. So I tell you what, let's do. Let's just get on with it. Let's just get it on, honey. Because you sit here and you've been lying since the minute I've come in here.
no,
First,
I
you
have
didn't have any
not.
boyfriends. Oh, you don't talk to the guys. You love your husband. And then you panic when I tell you we got your phone. We're going through it. Then all of a sudden you start coming up with these freaking numbers on these
Because
other
they're
guys.
not my boyfriends.
Yeah,
they're not
right.
something I would consider my
Mhm.
boyfriends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had women come over to my house all the time with me and my wife, and they're just friends. It don't happen, Samantha. That's why I say I've tried to really be honest with you.
And that's
And-
why
and
I'm
you have- I
coming
feel
up
that
with
you have
more
done nothing
now and
But sitting
trying
here
to
this
help.
whole time, if I'm gonna tell you right now, DPS is dang good to them. If you ain't got nothing to hide, and what bothers me is you even hesitate to take that, knowing it would positively clear you or to positively show that you're hiding something.
I don't know anything about a polygraph test. I hear from some people that they are faulty. And I hear from some people that they're accurate as the day is long.
I tell you what, you ain't gotta take one, but I'm gonna tell you right now, we're fixing to get on with it because I'm gonna stick by my heart hunch. I still don't say you did this. You did not kill that boy. I think this boy's gonna be dead, and I think that you know exactly who did it. And I think when we find him and we solve this, I think you're probably going to end up being in probably a lot of trouble, not because of anything other than what you've, the lies you're gonna be telling us. And I hate for you, Sam, because you've got kids, but I'm gonna tell you something. I just think that you've dug yourself a hole. And like I say, right now, you're not under arrest, and you're not a suspect still. But when we find him, when we solve this thing, and then the people that we arrest on this, I think they're gonna point the finger at you, and then their story is gonna match with the evidence, and then that's gonna come back and cause a dead issue warrant for you. And then you're gonna spend the rest of your life in prison. Because these kind of things, you don't get bonded out. It's not like getting arrested for dope. This is a whole different deal. Whole different
I
deal.
haven't done anything.
But no, but here's
And
the thing,
only
Sam.
thing,
Here's the thing, Sam. But the thing is, I still say, and the proof's gonna be in the pudding that you know more than you're telling us. I think you know exactly who did this. I think the story's made up about your daddy, his daddy, and stuff like that. Now hitting him and beating him, that might have happened because there is blood in that
that
house.
really, I promise you, that story
Well, yeah.
is true.
But I'm saying I think you know. I
daddy
think you know
stuff
exactly
really
who
did
did
happen.
this, and I think you're scared. And that's what I'm trying to beat into your head. Don't let fear keep you from telling the truth. Because just if you knew these guys that did it, you know why they did it, does not make you guilty. But what's going to make you guilty is when we prove that you lied to us in here.
But if
and
that
they're
is
gonna
the
point
case,
finger.
then I do know who did it and why they did it.
Okay.
Doesn't that make me like an accomplice?
Nope, it sure don't. No, that makes you a scared mother with children. That's exactly what that makes you.
The only other thing.
Okay. See, I knew. And you know, Sam, you know I'm not here lying to you. You know I know.
The only other thing I know, and I don't even know if I know,
Okay.
but it's a suspicion.
Okay.
I've been up at the hospital with my friend Charlotte,
Okay.
and she's got a guy there, and I swear to God, I cannot go up there that I said any of this.
Okay.
Because they have a lot of friends around here, and my life will be in a lot of danger.
As soon as she realizes they are closing in on the truth, Wohlford decides to change up her story and blame it on being in fear for her life. It's a line the detectives have heard numerous times before, but the tediousness is worth it to find more weak points in Wohlford's statement. I recently released another highly intense video on my Patreon, an explosive altercation between two cops, where tension escalated so quickly, resulting in a drawn gun and a devastating gunshot. In a mere 26 seconds, witness the events unfold as two officers engage in a fight that turns deadly. Watch this video and more at patreon.com/strangerstoriesplus.
Okay.
But the only other thing I know is venting to her and talking to her about problems like I just told you. I have a problem with talking to my friends about our problems.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have many of them. So when I do get with one of my friends, I want to talk about
Okay.
any problems we might have had. And honestly, lately, it hasn't been many.
Okay.
We have had problems in the past, and I haven't seen Charlotte in a long time.
Okay. Come on with it.
And she's got this guy in the room with her, and he gets to talking about how a man shouldn't treat a woman that way, and how you don't do those things to a person,
Okay.
and he's going to deal with the situation. I
Okay.
didn't take him seriously.
Okay. You see, Sam, you know who did this, but that does not make
But I
you
don't
guilty. I'm
have
still.
any proof that he did. I just have what he said.
Okay. What did?
And
Who is
he's
this
got-
guy?
His name's John.
John who?
His Facebook is Rebel, John Rebel. It's John, I don't truly know his last name, but his Facebook says John Rebel. He's got a brother named Greg. He's got a really bad history as far as,
Who's Greg?
I was told he's an informant. I don't know Greg's last name
Where
either.
does John live?
I don't know. I know that he's been staying with Charlotte.
Charlotte who?
Charlotte Camp or Morris, or she's also gone by multiple last names. She just had a baby.
Charlotte Morris?
Charla, S-H-A-S-H-A-R-L-A.
See, how you spell her name for me? S-H-A-R-L-A?
Yes.
Charla.
Her Facebook says Camp, but at the hospital she was registered under Morris.
O-R-R-I-S?
Yes.
Where's she live at?
I've never been to her house, but John has been staying with Charlotte, and they said Lone Star. Of course, she's here in town at the hospital, and I left my car up there so that she had a way. She said her house is
Okay, now let me
vacated.
tell you something, Sam. See, you know in your heart, and I know, you know who did this. You know who this guy was when he come in here tonight. You know who he was.
No, I honestly
That does not
promise
make you guilty, but this is the thing. I want you to look at the hole that you've already dug yourself in. Okay? I want you to look at this and this whole thing. You have lied to us, and you knew this whole time you've been sitting there lying, the whole time you've been in here.
But
That's not
the
good.
thing. But that's the thing. I don't know anything.
Okay.
I just have
Because that
this,
polygraph, and that's why you don't want to take that polygraph, and I knew.
and I
because
don't have
that's
a problem
why.
taking it. I don't truly know if that is the case, but that it did happen
Well, why would
yesterday.
you, now, why all of a sudden we'd be going from Jeremy and David all of a sudden to this guy
Because
that you
Jeremy and
already.
David are
But now, what
possibly
this
as
guy
well.
say? What this guy say he's gonna do?
handle the situation.
When
That's
did
all
he
said.
tell you this?
Yesterday
Where at?
at the hospital.
Okay. I want you to write that down in big detail, because now from here on out you can become a suspect. You're not yet, but I'm gonna tell you the DA's gonna be looking at this. He's gonna be looking close at this. Samantha, you've done lied. I don't want to see you be pulled from your kid for your life. I hope you don't think I'm lying. This is a game, because this is not the kind of thing you bond out on. This is the kind of thing the DA gives you a no bond on, and you go straight to prison.
I put it on my kids' life. I have not done anything.
Well, but
I
here's the
didn't have
thing.
it done,
That
and I did not do anything.
okay, but here's the thing. You know in your heart that this guy did it.
And if
You
you're
know he
telling
did
me
it.
a polygraph test will clear me of that,
But you,
then I'll take
Charlotte,
it.
but you know there may not be any reason to take one now, because you're being honest with me. For the first time, I think
Charla was not in the room. She was, but she was out when he said this. When me and her had been discussing it and
so
everything
what else did he say? Did he tell you he's gonna come out there and kill him?
No, he did not. And I swear to God, that is the truth. That's why I have not said that yet. No, he
And his
did not.
Facebook is John Rebel. The Charlotte Morse is up at the hospital now. What room is she in?
218.
And she's there now?
She should be. She was
Okay.
last night.
So if he did this, who do you think he'd bring with him?
I don't know any of his friends. But yesterday at the hospital, he had a guy that I do know from town with him. His name is Tay.
Who?
Tay Rhymes.
Tay?
Tay. He's black.
Tay Rounds, he's a black male?
Yes.
Okay, he had him with him? Where's he from?
I didn't say he had. Yes, he had him at the hospital with him. I cannot guarantee that these are the right people.
But you know what?
I know that
you know
he's
in your heart,
got-
Sam. You know this guy did it. You know he did it. And here's the thing.
But why?
But
Unless
here's
he's
the
got
thing.
serious
You better-
psychological issues, why?
Well,
I
what
only
did you
met
say?
him-
What did you say when he said he's going to take care of that problem?
I just laughed at him. I thought he was joking.
So now all of a sudden, why are you bringing him out? Because you know that it was him.
Because
Why do you know it was
of-
him?
Because of his prison record and because I don't know. I just have this feeling like it was. I don't
You think
know.
he was the one in the room that was beating him?
Probably.
Okay. You be detailed. You start writing the truth.
Stanford will be brought in for questioning, and he will turn on Wohlford almost immediately.
So I can keep you out of prison. Okay? Because I can promise you, this guy, when we go snatch him
There
up,
was another person there,
who was there?
but I don't know. I swear to God, I don't know. I know that he has a lot of people he calls his brother, and I only
And you
know
think
this
they came over
guy.
there and did this just simply because he was mean to you?
I don't
Or was there a bad
know.
dope deal? Was there a dope deal on that?
I don't know. I don't know. Honest to God, I don't know.
But you, in your
I know
heart,
that my husband has had a lot of time.
but in your heart, you think this is him.
Yes.
You're positive he did it.
I'm not positive. I can't be positive because I didn't see any faces.
Well, but then what makes you think it was him?
Just by the way he said it, even though I laughed him off, he sat back with this
No, in your house,
criminal.
what made you think this was him while you was in your house?
Because the height, and there was a guy built like Jeremy there. There was. That is the truth. That is the truth. John is skinny. 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 Tall and skinny. He's got a very bad record. There was a tall, skinny guy there.
John Rebel?
Yes.
You don't know his name.
No.
But this
John.
is, but
He
Sheila,
told me his last name. but I can't
Charlotte
remember.
Morris knows him though.
Yes.
Okay.
He lives with her.
We'll find him. You get to writing. We'll find him.
Please don't let this come back on me. I don't
Okay.
want.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the only way we can guarantee that is if you point your finger and know he did it, so we can go arrest him and we won't let him out of jail and he can't come get you.
I don't want anybody to come and
Well, then you better start facing up.
because they did to make it clear that if I called the police, they would kill my kids.
Okay?
That was the truth. I put that in the statement. That is the truth.
So they plan to kill him then.
I
In front
hope
of you.
not. I really hope not.
But Samantha,
But
listen.
they did make him tell me not to call the police.
Okay, why did they tell you not to call the police? What was going on for them to tell you not to call the
They were
police?
beating the hell out of him and they had me tied up. And that is the honest to God truth.
And they was telling you not to call the police?
They were telling my husband to tell me not to call the police or they'd come back and kill my kids. Yes. They were leaning in.
But it's too late for that. You already called the police.
Yes, I did.
So that shouldn't hurt you from giving these names.
I don't,
Come on,
I
Sam.
don't have a problem writing the statement.
Sam.
I don't have a problem, but please don't let me.
Sam, you're doing good right now. Right now is the first
I'm
time.
really scared. So
Right now is the first time believing
please
you. I'm
don't let
gonna
my
give you this.
kids' life be in danger because of this.
And the only way we can keep your kids out of danger is if you be honest and give us these guys and tell us where, because I think your husband's dead. Okay? Why do you think they come over and guide you and beat him and
I
kick
don't
him?
know. I really don't.
Sam, this is a very, very serious thing we're doing
I'm
here.
being very serious. I don't know.
Okay. What? So, but see already here. What does this look like? You come in here with these big
I
stories,
know.
and all of a sudden you give us this thing.
But everything
This is
that
gonna be the
happened,
guy that did it.
everything that happened at the house is the truth. All of that really did happen.
Did they do
But-
something to let you know that it was them inside that house?
Not 1,000%. names in particular, but I'm pretty sure it was him. The height and the weight and the way he was talking all
Okay.
gangster
You
and
pull yourself together and get to writing, and we need to arrest these folks and keep them off the street where they can't hurt you and your children.
there was a third person with him.
Okay, who do you think it was?
He's got people that's staying with him.
Who, John Rebel?
Yeah, he's got this.
Listen, you've got to let me know, Sam,
I'm trying.
because we can
I
run a
don't
search
know
warrant on
that.
his house. We
I'm
can go
trying, okay.
and run a search
He
warrant and
had
get
a
the evidence
guy.
we need. We can get the search warrant and we can get the
He
evidence
had
we
a
need.
guy with him and taken the hospital. This is what makes me think it was so. When they were in the hospital before this happened in my house,
Yes?
Tay was with him. And there was another guy, I don't know his name, but he pretty much fits the bill of the third guy.
There was three people?
Yes, at the house there was 3 people. And at the hospital yesterday, you can look at the cameras, there was 3 people.
So they'll have them on the video camera there at the
At
hospital?
the hospital, yes.
Okay.
There was Tay and that guy and this third party.
And you know in your
Third
heart they did this, don't you? You know they did it.
I do.
Because I think there was more being said. I think you're still
Third party.
scared. I think there's still something else you're probably not telling me that you
No,
knew
I
they were
promise
doing
you, I
this.
am being completely honest, 100%. I put that on everything. I'm telling you everything I know. I really do not know the third party's name. He's the one that scares me the most.
Okay.
He has this very violent look to him, and he scares me more than any of them. And when
I'm still not
said that-
certain that they're doing this just because he's mean to you. I think there's more that happened here.
There may be. But
You know that.
we
You
have
know
to-
that. What kind of business does your husband have with these guys?
I don't know. I really don't. I really don't. I'm being honest.
Okay. You get to rest.
But the reason, the one that I said was basically like the ringleader that was bossing everybody around. The other 2 really didn't talk much other than a word here and there. But it was the big guy, the third party that was at the hospital.
Okay.
And he's the one, I don't know his name, and I can't tell you where to find him because I don't know him. I've only seen him once. But he was with Tay and John at the hospital. Charlotte needed to ride home. Charlotte doesn't know anything at all about John's saying that to me or anything.
Wohlford may be hoping that she can place the blame squarely on her accomplices, but it is too late for that to work. Their stories will match with the forensics, and each man will confirm that this had all been Wohlford's idea.
Okay.
That is
So
the truth.
you think Charlotte will tell us who her boyfriend is?
He's not her boyfriend, but I know he told me his last name.
Okay.
I
Here.
really can't remember.
Okay.
But I spent a bit of time at the hospital with Tay and John, just talking and hanging out because Tay's the father of one of my friends' kids. So I have known him. He's from Mount Pleasant, I believe.
John Rebel? That's what is on his
Hey.
Facebook. Can you get into John's Facebook for me?
Yeah, if
We
you
need
bring
you
me my
to?
phone, I can show it to you. Yes.
Okay. Chris. Did you hear that? All right. We'll know. We'll know who it is. Yeah. It's gonna be, she's coming clean now. Charlotte Morrison Hospital. It's gonna be a guy she knows to her seeing her on his Facebook. It's John Rebel. He got a friend named Greg. She almost named him as a third person. She said it was looking for you. Can you come in here and let's look at his Facebook so we can find out who this guy is? She's finally coming clean. I knew she's lying to us, and she's scared. And this is the only thing that's gonna save your dead gum butt when these guys come back and get you. You're gonna be
I'm
honest with
scared
us.
that third guy is really
listen,
gonna show
we
up
need
my
the
house
gun.
and kill me.
We need that gun.
And he was the bigger guy, was the one that kept beating him in the face over and over. He said, "You know why I'm doing this?" And I
Did he
don't
say
know.
anything about his daddy?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And I
Okay.
don't know if
You
he
show
knows.
us his Facebook. Show us his Facebook.
I don't know if he really knows Dagon and his dad, or if that was just something he was saying to get me
Okay.
to repeat. But he really was saying that. That really is the truth. I really did. That statement I wrote is really
Okay.
the truth.
Okay, but listen, we're
I
wasting
just left
time.
out that I might know
We've
them.
got to get this guy. We've got to get him now.
I just
Okay.
left out that I might know them. It's the only thing I left out. Everything else I've said is the truth.
Okay, Sam, you knew they did this from the very beginning, and you wouldn't tell us. You knew in your heart. You was trying to put me on a goose chase, and I figured it out, and I knew it. With these other 2 guys, it's Jeremy.
That is a possibility still, but those are the ones that I really feel are the ones that kidnapped it.
Well,
And
because they
I
told
really
you.
don't know
They told you
why.
they was gonna do it. Didn't they? Didn't they tell you?
No, they did not just come out and say that they were, but with. And yeah, that picture there, that's kind of what the face thing they wore looked like.
They're black, all of them?
He's a white boy.
Okay.
But that thing he wore over his face with that, that's kind
He's
of
got
what
a
it looked
extensive prison
like.
record. Look at him.
And all of his tattoos are prison ink, and that's why
You think all these guys gonna be together when we find them at John's house?
I know that John is probably at the hospital with Charlotte.
Who is this here?
John, I don't know his last name. He told me it and I can't remember. I promise I can't remember. But I'm trying my best to help you. I really
We're
am.
gonna get it. We're gonna interview these people later. We gotta get to the hospital and interview these guys and get to the Charlotte Morris, find out who this guy is, find out where he's at. And we gotta.
But Charlotte was complaining about not having a ride home from the hospital because her mom took her truck and
When
she's
she
there
gonna
with
get
her
out?
newborn baby. I don't know, sometime today. And I told her that I would let her use my car. So he drove me home and he dropped me off. And he still had my car. So he knew where I lived.
He still got it now?
He should have. He was supposed to use my car to...
Has he called you or sent you any messages? Or
No, I don't even have his phone number.
Can you check right quick and make sure? Show me that you don't have any kind of contact with
Yeah.
phone calls, voicemails, anything?
Tay texted and said, hey, they're about to discharge Charlotte from the hospital.
I need John up here.
And who's
And we need
Tay?
Aaron.
Tay's one of the ones that I said would probably be...
This is Tay
So
Rhymes?
he's at the hospital with John.
This is Tay Rhymes?
Yes.
Who is he?
He is a friend of mine's kids' dad. I don't really know him other than that. I've never spent any time with him other than yesterday. Ever. And that's the honest to God truth. And John, I've only known for 2 days.
I'm gonna need a couple of guys.
And I don't know if my husband has been dealing, and this was just their way of trying to figure out where he lived by getting to me. I don't know. I told you. I am 1000% being honest. He's got a lot of time that just doesn't match up on his schedule. I really did think it was just that he was cheating on me. And now I'm just not so sure. With all this going on now, I just don't know. But John, I don't have his number.
What about on Facebook? Has any of them contacted you on Facebook?
I haven't even checked. I was just trying to get his picture so you guys could see him. But that's a bad picture. I don't know if you scrolled through.
What about the other one?
Tay
Tay?
is black.
What kind of car do you have that's gonna be at the hospital?
It's a silver Equinox 2005.
Your car's at the hospital?
Yeah. Charlotte didn't have a ride home.
Okay.
And
I
so,
need you to give me permission to take your car from them people.
yes. You got my permission. He has my
Okay.
keys. He's got my house keys. Oh my god! Is this my fault? Oh my god! It's my keys.
You think they dumped him off out there behind your house?
I don't know.
Did you see
I just
them?
now even dawned on the
Did you
fact that
see
he's
them
got
put
my
him?
keys.
Did you ever see him put him in his car?
No, I didn't. They really did have me tied up upstairs, but I just now put two and two together. They didn't wake us up until they grabbed me in the bed, and I gave them my key.
Wohlford continues to wail and sob, but there are still no tears.
Because they had the keys to your house, that's how they were able to get in without...
Because Charlotte needed a ride home, and I told him to take her home.
So the door wasn't kicked in?
Yes, not to wake us up, no. If they kicked in the door before, it didn't wake me up. But out of the blue, I'm being jerked out of bed. And nothing woke me up to tip me off that someone was jerking me out of bed.
Okay, well, so obviously they knew where you lived. They had your car.
Because he
They
took
had the
me
keys.
home.
Okay, they took you home, okay. So they knew where you were at, okay. They knew you were, I guess, upset or having problems with Junior, right? Okay. Were you
Just-
crying on her shoulder and telling them all the problems you were having?
No, me and Charlotte were talking at the hospital, and he's at the hospital with Charlotte.
So he was listening to what y'all were saying.
Because she was having problems with her kids' dad, that she just had the baby, and I was comparing situations. Like, there's been times that this has happened to me
So
too.
this John Rule and or John Rebel and Tay were there.
They were there in the room. They were
And
sitting at the
and
back
they
of the
were-
room talking to each other, and me and her were talking to each other.
So they heard about all the problems you were having with June.
And then Charlotte was whining and complaining that she didn't have a way home and she didn't know how she was going to get her baby home. And I was like, hun, you've got my car. If you have
So
to,
who took you home?
if you, Tay
drove you home.
no. John drove and Tay rode with, so they both knew where I lived. And I didn't even think, hey, here's just the key to the car. I need the rest of my keys.
So they knew where you lived.
So they had my whole
They had
key
keys-
ring.
They had keys to your house. They had everything they needed to come into your house.
They had my whole
Now,
key ring.
once we get these guys in custody, are they going to tell us that they did this because you told them or asked them to do it?
I did not ask them to do anything.
Did they tell you that they were going to come over and take care of him?
No, they
They
did
were
not.
gonna do that?
John, after Charlotte calmed down and finally fell asleep, he was telling me how thankful he was that I finally calmed her down after how upset she was by the father of her kids stopping by. And I said, hey, it's what I'm here for.
I need to find that house
And-
before they get rid of some evidence. We need to find out where he lives, where all these guys are staying. They're gonna be staying together, aren't they, all three of them?
I don't know about the third party. I've never seen him before. Tay and John are both together at the hospital with Charlotte. Because Tay just texted my phone saying Charlotte's fixing to be discharged.
We gotta get up there quick.
But,
And her name's
Charlotte
Morris.
Morris, but she has a password to where you can't get in because she's had problems with the father of her kids, which is how all this stuff got brought up with me. And that's how all this stuff got brought up with me because of all the problems she's had. And I'm like, you know what? Don't let everybody get you down because guess what? We've had our problems too, but look where we're at. We're still fighting and we're still together and we're still, every day, some new obstacle pops up that we get past. But we're still together, and it's possible. It may be the hardest thing you ever have to go through, but you can get through it. And so we're just sitting there talking, and she finally calms down and goes to sleep, and he's telling me what an angel I am for getting her to calm down and go to sleep, and how she's done nothing but cry. And then he tells me, you don't need to be going through with that either. And I was like, it is what it is. That's life. You take a few punches, you give a few punches. That's just life. And he said, yeah, if I was around, I'd handle that situation for you. And I just laughed at him. I thought he was kidding. But then that night, like yesterday afternoon, he drove me home to drop me off so that they had the car there for Charlotte when she's being discharged today.
What room was she in?
218.
You call.
You gonna call the hospital and tell them to not discharge her?
Yeah, I'm gonna call Robert Jones. He's over security up there. Let me call him.
Can I sit outside and smoke?
We left the prints in the house. Did they have gloves on or did they use their hands?
They had gloves on. I'm not guaranteeing they all did, but yes.
What's her name? It's in 218.
Charlotte Morris.
Charlotte Morris.
I'm not guaranteeing they all did, but the one that kept running and did. And I didn't see other than focusing on the gun. I never paid attention to that either.
Hey, this is pretty great. Hey, you working good? Hey, you do.
And I just
So you're almost positive it was them?
I'm 100% positive.
Now, in court of law, let's say we're in a court and I'm a jury. How are you gonna prove to me it was them then?
Because I showed him where we lived, never thinking about it. He handed him my keys. I had my house key on it, never thinking about it. Just sizes match up. He already had said, I'll handle it. I didn't. People say stuff like that all the time. I didn't think it was me. I think it would be said.
Okay, come on back in here. So they ever come right out and say they're gonna kill him?
No, they didn't. And like I was just telling him, as many hours of a day as there is that my husband is not home, it's possible that it is a drug deal gone wrong and they played me into the right pocket to be able to.
Originally, Sanford and the others were going to plant meth in Ibarra's truck and report him to the police.
Find out where he lives.
Samantha, You know exactly what it is that went wrong. And it still does not make you guilty.
No, I swear to God, I don't know.
But you've done swear to God to me on 4 other things, and I've done proven you still
My
alive.
husband gets off at 3:30, makes it home between 5 and 6, and tells me that he's at Hastings. Other than
What do you
that, I
think
don't
on the
know.
drug deal? What would you think
He's
would
not-
happen? He owed him money?
Probably because he can't. If it's drugs, I'm the one paying all the bills. I'm the
Well,
one
because
taking care of
there's no
everything.
secret your husband sells drugs.
His dad, yes, he
Well,
does.
but I think he's probably helped. So this is probably where it come in. Did he owe money?
I don't know. I honest to God do not know. I made it clear to my husband if I ever caught a whiff of anything like that around my house, around my kids, he'd be out quicker than daylight, and I'd narc on anyone that I
She's still
put
there?
around him.
Let's check it.
But yes, his dad
Where does she live?
is a no. She says Lone Star, but she's also told me Dangerfield. Somewhere between Dangerfield and Lone Star. I've never been to her house.
Well, that guy in that picture looks like a prison.
He just got out in July.
What was he in on?
He told me that he did a lot of fighting in. I don't know what exactly he went on. He told me that he's actually been in 3 times, but only 2 of them counted because one was consecutive.
How long has he been out?
He said he got out in like July. I don't know. I only have known him 2 days, and it's just been up there at the hospital chit-chatting with Charlotte and stuff that I've learned anything about him. I really don't know this guy. Yes, I know that my father-in-law deals. Yes, I know that he has probably conned his son when he didn't have a vehicle.
So this third
into-
person, you just know his name was Greg?
Greg. No. Greg was John's brother. That's how you definitely know you have the right person. Greg, no, I was told Greg's an informant. The only thing I know about the heavyset dude is they called him JoJo, but they told me that wasn't his name. I believe they said it was Jose, but I don't know anything about the other guy at all. But
Well,
he's very scary looking.
I'm hoping if they just took him out and beat the crap out of him that he's still alive.
He is a very scary looking guy, the third guy.
But you don't know who he is?
No.
You don't know his name?
No, they kept calling him JoJo. And I asked
Third
John
guy.
what his name was, and he said Jose. But that's all I know about that guy. That's all I know. That, and he is scary looking.
So when I go in there and say, there's a black male in there with John, I can go in there and say, hey, there's John, there's Tay, where's JoJo? And they're going to know exactly who I'm talking about. That's what they call him, is JoJo.
Yes, that's what everybody calls him, is JoJo. And
Where does he live at?
as the last I was told from that group is that he didn't have a house. He was camping in a tent at Tay's house because JoJo and his woman were up there. And they were fighting really bad. And I asked what their story was because I had never met them. I didn't know them. And they were like, oh, they're always this bad. And I said, well, what's going on? Is he cheating? Is she cheating? Is it drugs? And they said, a little of all of the above. I said, well, who's that? That's my brother. That's JoJo. What's his real name? Why? Because JoJo's not his real name. Jose. He looks kind of familiar to me. Where does he live? I just don't like that going on around me and not knowing anything about the person. And he said, well, right now, he's just camping out at Tay's.
There's 2 white guys in there right now. Who are they going to be?
2 white guys?
Mhm.
I don't know. It's possible that the father showed up again, and his name is Randall. If it's a skinny, tall white guy, that's John, and he has not left her side.
John's covered in tats, right?
Yes.
That's gonna be him. He said there's a tall white guy in there covered in tats. So there was kind of another kind of short, heavy set guy.
That's JoJo.
It was JoJo.
JoJo's the third party that was the guy that was beating the shit out of him. If it, like I said, they had masks, but I'm pretty sure that, and JoJo was the one that kept hitting him in the face over and over, saying, you know why this is happening. This, talking about his dad. He was the one that kept hitting and kept hitting and kept hitting and kept hitting him.
Okay. Just hold tight for me.
While left alone, Wohlford almost amuses herself by writing messages on the board. It comes across as attention-seeking.
Sam, what I was gonna have you do is look at some evidence here. Alright, and the case number is gonna be SO151029, and today's date is February 23rd, 2015. Time's gonna be 1 o'clock. And what I'm gonna do is, yes, we'll have to record anytime we speak with a witness or someone involved in the case. We have to record everything. What I'm gonna do is open up these packages here and let you look at them and see if you recognize any of these. Just 1 second, let me grab some gloves. Just don't touch anything there on the table. Hey, Wayne. It's a penny you dropped on the floor.
Oh, it kept hearing noise, and I was like, what is that?
It was a penny.
I also had a few questions as well. Just things, of course, rumors get around, and I had some questions about things.
Does this look familiar?
That is his cell
Okay, now whose cell phone is this?
phone. Ernest Ibarra's.
It's Ernest Lee Ibarra,
Yes.
your husband?
Yes.
Okay. When is the last time you saw this phone?
When he plugged it in to go to bed that night, he plugged it in beside his bed.
And that was Thursday night?
The night of break-in.
Okay. At your residence?
Yes, sir.
And you're for sure this is his phone?
1,010% sure. I just bought him that phone 2 weeks ago.
Alright, I've got 2 other items here I want you to look at and see if these items look familiar.
Has the phone been looked at? Did they make me calls off of it?
So that's what we're going to do.
Will I ever get Andy about it back, or is it, that is his box knife? That's,
for sure
yes,
this is
I'm for sure he carried one. If he lost one, he bought another exactly identical to it. He kept one on his jeans at all point in time.
Okay. What makes you, since you said he bought several of them over there, what makes you so positive that this is his?
It's the exact color and type he always bought and kept on his pants. And at the,
And did he have one on him Thursday when he
Yes,
got the house?
he kept
Did you
it.
actually see it?
yes, it was on his pants.
Okay.
He clipped it to the pocket of his pants as per
Okay.
usual. And I know it's his.
Did that look familiar to what type of a knife that he would carry or what he would
Yes.
have?
He used it at work at Little Caesars to open boxes, and he liked them so much that he just kept it as his everyday pocket knife.
Now, did he get this from work or did he buy
No,
it
he
himself?
bought it at Walmart.
He bought it at Walmart. Okay. But you're positive that's his?
Yes.
I have a third item here you should look at and see if you recognize this item.
Those are the keys to his truck.
These are Ernest Lee Ibarra's.
Yes, sir.
These are his keys.
Yes, sir.
Can you identify what these keys go to?
A Dodge Ram.
This one here?
Yes, I bought it for him
This
about 3 weeks ago.
So this goes to
That goes to the truck,
The white Dodge
Yes,
truck in your
sir.
driveway?
the one in my driveway.
Okay.
and 2 of the other keys are my house keys.
Okay, what about these keys here?
They go to a set of locks for the locking luggage,
Uh-huh.
the little locks on the luggage when you travel.
Okay, and what about these keys here? Do you recognize any?
They went to his mother's house. 2 of the keys went to this key here went to our house, and the blue key went to his mother's house.
Okay, and what about this little key here?
That little key, I bought a lock set to lock a toolbox,
Okay.
and it came with 4 padlocks in it, and I gave him 2, and I kept 2, and I gave him 1 of the keys.
Okay, and this key here goes to
To my house.
Okay. So you're positive these are the keys that were on the
100%, yes. They are my husband's keys to his vehicle in our home.
Sanford and the others didn't make much of an effort to hide Ibarra's belongings. This may have been at least in part because they were under the influence of the substance they had planned to plant in Ibarra's truck.
All right, these keys right here that you identified as belonging to your husband, they were found on Jose Ponce's person, okay? When we talked to him Friday, when he was detained Friday to talk to him about this situation, these keys were on his person, okay?
I know that they made one of the guys go tear my room apart looking for the keys to his vehicle. So I thought that when I couldn't find them in the yard or in the truck or in the house, I thought that it might have left with them, and I was hoping that they had been able to be retrieved.
Okay. Now this phone here, cell phone that we got here was also taken off of Jose Ponce, okay? This was found in his possession also, okay? And this knife here, this was found in Jonathan Sanford's possession, okay?
The guy that had that knife is the one that cut the hair off that you found at my house.
Okay. Now, did he use that knife?
Yes,
there?
he used that knife. That's how I knew that they had taken his knife off of him, because that's what they used to cut his hair off, and he didn't have them on his pants anymore. So I'm not able to have his keys.
No, I have to keep them for evidence right now. What I'm going to need you to do for me is to write me a witness statement saying that you looked at these items and that you positively identified these items as belonging to your husband.
Has my car been searched yet?
Yes, it has. That'll have to be held for a little longer for evidence purposes.
Was there anything found in my car?
There was, but I won't be able to kind of go into the details as far as what all was located.
Can you tell me, is it going to be cleaned before I get it back, or is it going to have some other things in it?
That I don't know for sure. What I get you to do for me is, just like we did before, we get you to write your name, your address, your date, fill out all this information here on top for me. And what I need you to do is to write for me that you look at these, that you identified the keys, the cell phone, and the knife that I showed you as items that belonged to your husband, and they were in his possession the night that he was taken. Okay?
Okay.
You do that for me? And I'll also be able to go get your written statement from the other day. And I will be right back.
Why do you need to get my written statement?
Because I need you to sign it. You didn't sign it.
Did you get the list of things that I was supposed to
I'll
pick
get
up?
that. I'll get that for you later.
Thank you.
Wohlford becomes surprisingly calm when she forgets she's being watched. All of her attention is on her phone, although it is too late for any type of damage control.
I know Friday when we were going over your statement, when you told us that the 3 men came into your house, correct? That you believe the 3 men, or that you were positive the 3 men would be JoJo or Jose Ponce, John, also known as Jonathan Sanford, also known as John Rebel on Facebook.
Correct.
And the third one, man that came to the house, to be Octavius Rhymes,
I
also
didn't even
known
know
as
that. I just know he
also
calls
known
him
as
Tay.
Tay. Okay. But you feel like Tay is the third person that was in the house?
Correct.
With these similar. Okay.
Just mainly because they were all together at the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and voice-wise, after I was able to realize who the other 2 were,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm almost positive he was.
Here's a copy of the search warrant return from when we did the search warrant at your house the other night. These are a list of the items that were taken from your house.
I can tell you what's inside these boxes if that would help.
Okay, we'll get to that here in just a second. What I need to do is to get the person identified that you know as Tay or Octavius Rhymes. What I'm going to do is show you what's called a photo lineup array.
Okay, I can tell you exactly.
Okay. Well, okay. Let me read you the photo lineup instructions first before I let you look at the lineup.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. In a moment, I'm going to show you a series of photos. The person who committed the crime may or may not be included. I do not know whether the person being investigated is included in this photo lineup. The investigation will continue whether or not you make an identification. Even if you identify someone during this procedure, I will continue to show you all the photos in the series. Keep in mind that things like hairstyles, beards, and mustaches can be easily changed, and that complexion colors may look slightly different in photographs. You should not feel that you have to make an identification. It is important to exclude innocent persons as it is to identify the perpetrator. The photos will be shown to you one at a time. Take as much time as you need to look at each one. After each photo, I will ask you, is this the person that you saw at your house on the night your husband was taken? Okay? Take your time answering the questions. If you answer yes, I will then ask you in your own words, can you describe to me how certain you are? Okay? Percentage-wise.
Can you tell me, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Hang on just a minute, let me finish it. Because you're involved in an ongoing investigation, in order to prevent damaging the investigation, you should avoid discussing this identification procedure or its results. Do you understand the way the photo array procedure will be conducted and the other instructions that I've given?
Wohlford is going to be asked to identify the men from a photo lineup. She has already given up their names, so this step is mainly a formality.
Yes.
Okay. Let me just turn this over for right now. Put this over here. We'll discuss that here in a minute.
Yes, sir.
All right, what I've got 6 photos that I'm going to show you, okay? Now, each folder is marked with a number on top of it, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide each folder to you, and you can open it up and look at it. And
Is it just one photo, or is there more than
there's just
one angle?
one photo per folder.
No.
Okay, so you look at photo number 1.
Photo number 1, it's not photo number 1.
Okay. And photo number 1 is not what?
That's not the person.
Not the person that you
No.
know is Tay.
The one that I know is Tay, that is not.
Okay, and what you look at photo number 2?
No. That is not Tay. Number 2 is not Tay.
Photo number 2 is not,
No.
not the person you know is Tay. Okay, and this is going to be photo number 3.
Photo number 3 is Tay.
Okay, now on a scale, what percentage wise do you feel like photo number 3 is a person?
100%. That's Tay. That's.
You're 100% sure
Yes,
that
that's
this
Tay. I wasn't sure with just being a photo like this, how easy it would be for me to tell you who it was, but.
Okay, well, like I said in the photo lineup, I'm going to show you all 6 photos.
Yes, sir.
This is photo number 4.
Photo number 4 is not Tay.
That's not the person you know is Tay.
No, sir.
Okay. And photo number 5.
Photo number 5 is not Tay.
Okay. And photo number 6.
Photo number 6 is not Tay.
Do you believe photo number 3 out of the 6 photos you looked at, do you believe photo number 3 is a person?
Photo number 3, the man that I was to be known as Tay Rise. It's photo number 3.
Now, is this the man that was in your house?
Yes.
With Jose Ponce and Jonathan Sanford?
Yes.
He was the third man that was involved in taking your husband from your
Yes.
house? You're positive?
I'm positive.
All right. What I want you to do here, this is again the photo lineup instructions that I just read to you, okay? And I'll go through them again. It's number 7. You're being asked to view a group of photographs, okay? The fact that you're shown, the fact that they're shown to you should not influence in your judgment. Okay, you should not conclude or guess that the photographs contain the picture of the person or persons who committed the offense. Okay, you're not under any obligation to identify anyone.
So do you guys do that?
So,
Give people a bunch of pictures and none of them is the suspect, and you ask them to identify?
well, if we're looking for a person that we feel like may or may not be involved in the photo, we want to make sure that the person that's involved in the crime, if you're able to look through a photo lineup and identify the person that was involved in that. Okay, it is just as important to free innocent persons from suspicion as to identify the guilty parties. Okay, do not be influenced by the fact that the persons in the photographs may have mustaches, beards, long hair, different hair colors. Okay, do not discuss the case or witness with other witnesses, nor indicate in any way that you have or have not identified someone. Okay, so you get your.
Now, I will tell you this. Tay did not lay his hands on my husband
Okay.
in my home.
Okay.
He was the one that stood there and held him out to my throat. He did not hit him. He did not, as far as I see, help do any form of loading him. Yes, he was involved. Obviously, he was in my home. He shouldn't have been.
Rhymes may have been the least involved physically, but in the eye of the law, he is no less guilty. Rhymes was in contact with Wohlford about disposing of the evidence.
But other than that, that's all I can tell you about him.
Okay. Let's get your signatures there saying that you understand the full law. And then right down here at the bottom, it says you've been shown a group of 6 photographs, which are numbered 1 through 6, for the purpose of identifying a person or persons involved in a criminal offense in Titus County, Texas, that occurred on or about
I believe it was the 18th.
19th of February 2015. Okay.
So the time
Okay.
of death made it the 19th.
Okay, so you identified photo number 3, correct?
Correct.
And that's the person you know as Tay
Yes.
Rhymes. Okay. Or Octavius Rhymes. Alright, I just need your signature right there, just saying that that's the person that you know would be as Octavius Rhymes.
Yes, it is. Have you spoken to him yet?
I haven't spoken to some of the other investigators involved in this area.
And you didn't have enough, I guess, on him to be able to make an arrest?
On your statement here that you had made, I know when we were discussing going over your statement the other day, when you identified the 3 men, coming to your house, JoJo, Jose Ponce, Jonathan Sanford, and Tay Rhymes. You're positive those are the 3 men that
Yes,
came
I'm
into the house?
100% positive. And then on Tay, because he didn't speak much at the time, I wasn't 1,001% sure. But as much as he's told the mother of his children, I'm 100% sure. Yes.
Well, I know when we come up here to the office that night when we left your house, obviously we got the call that, something had happened there at your house, and deputies arrived on the scene, and investigators were called out to the scene because your husband was missing from your house, okay? once we arrived there on the scene, looked things over and talked to you, obviously you were brought up here and visited with me for a couple of hours, going over your statement as to what happened there before your husband was taken from the house, okay? And as you recall, during that time, during those several hours we were here, at first you didn't tell me the truth about you knowing who the gentlemen were or who these guys were that came into your house, took off with Ernie.
Correct.
And then later you were able to come back and tell me that, you know, it was JoJo or Jose Ponce, Jonathan Sanford, and the guy you know is Tay, is the three guys that came into your house and took Ernie away from the house, okay?
Correct.
Now, the night that this happened, I know you told me that this was Thursday night prior, or going into early Thursday, or early Friday morning of last week, okay?
Correct.
You were at the hospital that Thursday night, correct? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Now you were up there visiting
Charlotte Morris.
Charlotte Morris in room
218.
Wohlford repeats her story, but it doesn't deviate from what she has said before.
Now, do you remember about what time it was when you left the hospital?
I do not.
Okay, you have kind of a guesstimate as far as time frame? 5, 6, 7, 8, 10?
5 or 6, I guess. I don't know.
Now, did you have anyone with you when you were up at the hospital?
All of my children.
All of your children? Okay, all
Yes.
5 of them
Yes,
were
sir.
with you? Okay. Now, you were making arrangements to leave your
My vehicle
vehicle there?
because she didn't have a way to get home.
Okay, it's a Chevy Equinox, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Silver in color,
Yes, sir.
4-door.
Yes, sir.
And when you had made arrangements to leave your vehicle there for Charlotte to be able to take her and her newborn baby home on Friday, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you were leaving the hospital, going back to your house, is that correct?
Yes.
You and your 5 kids?
Yes.
Who also went with you out there to your house?
Tay. It was
Tay.
John and Tay. Tay wanted to ride with us.
Okay, so John Sanford, or
Yes.
well, you know, it's John Rebel
Yes.
on Facebook. Jonathan Sanford and Tay, or Octavius Rhymes,
Yes.
you and your 5 children
Yes.
left the hospital, go to your house.
Yes.
Okay. Once you got there at your house, who was there at your house when you got home?
When I got home, my husband was upstairs in the house. He had already laid down. He hadn't slept well the night before, so he went to bed extremely early. He told me not to stress or worry about, when he called me, he told me not to stress or worry about times that I got home, that he'd feed himself, it wasn't a big deal. And so they took all the car seats out of my car and put them on the front porch just to make sure they'd have room to transport somebody that had just had surgery and an infant.
Sure.
And I took all of my kids inside. They do not come in my home at that point. They put them on the front porch, went back to the car, got the car seats out, put them on the front porch, and left. I then took the children upstairs, put them in the room with a snack and something to drink for them to go to bed, and turned around and my husband was awake, and we spent a few hours together before he went back to sleep, and then I went back to sleep.
So when you got home, was it still light outside or was it dark?
The porch light was on. It was dark outside.
But you don't remember exactly kind of what time frame? it
No,
was?
I know that we did stop at Walmart so that I could pull some money out of the bank because I used Wood Forest Bank.
Mhm.
And then John walked around Walmart looking for prices on something.
Wohlford, her children, and Sanford were caught shopping together on security footage from Walmart.
And I ran into a friend of mine there, actually, Tay, the mother of Tay's children, her sister Samantha, and her husband Casey. I talked to them for a little while in Walmart, and then I left there. So I don't even know how long I was in Walmart, but it was already dark when we went outside.
So you withdrew money from your card there in Walmart?
Yes,
How much?
$60.
What was the $60 for?
Just because I didn't have any cash on me, and I have prepaid electric system, and I had gotten gas, so it locks $75 when I'm retarded and use the gas pumps.
Mhm.
So I didn't want to take any chances on when I went to put money on my electric system on if it would say that I didn't have available funds, and then I'd have to drive back into town. My gas card is in Mount Vernon. My gas company prepaid electric system is in Mount Vernon, so I have to drive to Mount Vernon, and my bank is not in Mount Vernon. So I withdrew $60 off of my card and had in cash so that I would make sure I had some money to put on the electric in case my credit card 72 hour, did lock for 72 hours.
So y'all were at Walmart, then once you do that, then where do you go from Walmart?
How?
Go to your house?
Yes.
That's when you take kids into the house, take the car seats out,
Yes.
and then John and Tay
Left.
in
They
your
said
car.
they were going back to the hospital to be with Charlotte.
Okay. And at that point, you go into the house, get the kids taken care of, and you find your husband's awake, and that's when you spend some time with him before going to bed.
Yes.
Okay, so you never left the house?
No.
After that point?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you were laying in bed afterwards, once you remember about what time it was that you went to bed or laid down?
When I got home, he was awake. He asked me if I'd had a decent time and how things were going with Charlotte because she had already had CPS stop at the hospital and she was very scared. And so he was understanding about me just spending a lot of time at the hospital with her. And so we talked a little bit about that and decided we were going to go to bed. We then didn't go to bed and ended up having sex, went and rinsed off in the shower together, got back in bed, and we have an app on our cell phone we play. It's in his cell phone, you can check to verify that. We played that for a little bit and I looked up and it was 12:01 and I then was freaking out and told him we had to go to bed because he had to be up at work at 5. So I took a sleeping pill and I laid down and went to sleep.
And after you lay down to go to sleep, what happens after that?
I was laying in bed and somebody jerked the blankets off of me, which woke me up and jerked me out of bed with a knife to my throat, pushed me down on the carpet with a knife in my spine, told me not to move, and started tying my hands behind my back and gagging me. There was a lot of commotion going on. My husband was fighting with 2 other guys. At that point in time, there could have been 3. It was very dark and there was a lot of chaos going on and I was terrified. They started hitting him in the face and got him down and was able to tie him. They dragged me to the other side of the upstairs and dragged him down into the living room.
Wohlford recites the event as if she is speaking from a carefully memorized script, which turns out to be the case.
Okay, once they got him downstairs.
I could hear yelling and him being hit. And then a guy in the living room yelled, "Luke, bring her down." And so they brought me down into the living room. I was standing right outside of the kitchen, kind of sort of in the living room, but not 1,000% in the living room, just kind of in between, right in the perfect view. And they told him to look at me. He wouldn't look at me. He looked down or over the fireplace and just would not look at me. I could see cuts in the top of his head. His face was covered in blood. And they then started threatening him, saying harm would come to me if he didn't look at me. And I hit him again. And he finally looked up at me. And the person that had the knife to my throat started cutting my clothes off and cut my shirt off and threw it to the side. And the person that was hitting him in the face, Jojo, told him that, isn't your wife beautiful? And he would nod, and he said, "You want her to stay that way, don't you? You don't want us to do anything bad to her, do you?" And he shook his head no. Then they continued hitting him in the face and saying, "You can thank your dad for this. You can thank your dad for this." He took one of ours, so we're taking one of his. "You can thank your dad for this." And they pulled me in closer to him where I was kneeling down in front of him, face to face with him, and he was covered in blood. And he asked about our children, if they were okay, and they hit him in the face again and said, "Don't ever accuse me of hurting kids. How dare you?" And I'm not sure at that point, something flew out of his mouth. I don't know if it was blood or a tooth. I don't know, but it flew out of his mouth. And he said, "What can I do? What can I do? What do you want?" They said, well, what do you have? He said, all I have is my truck. You can have my truck. Take it. It's yours. And they said, can you come up with $20,000 for the next 5 minutes? And he said, no. Or he laughed. And they hit him in the face again. And he said, no. And they said, then there's nothing you can do. And one of the men cut a piece of my husband's hair off using his knife and threw it to the side, kind of towards me, and said, this is all you're ever going to have of him. This is all you're going to have left of him when we're finished. And I went into hysterics. I started hysterically bawling around the gag that was in my mouth. And JoJo said, get her the hell out of here. And they took and loaded him up. So told the other guy, the one that cut his hair, to load him up. And the person that had the knife to my throat took me towards me upstairs and said, ma'am, this isn't me, this isn't me. And unbound my hands and told me to get a shirt on. And I started looking for a shirt in the laundry area. And he kept going, hurry up, man, hurry the fuck up. And pushing the knife deeper, like harder against my throat. Not enough to cut me, but just enough to make it clear that he was serious.
There were no marks on Wohlford's body that were consistent with her story. At the very least, there should have been some discoloration.
And I found just a random shirt and put on, and he retied my hands. And then took me upstairs, and he slammed me down on the ground, and he tied my ankles together and told me, don't move if you know what is good for you.
What happened for that?
They had asked for his phone, and they went and searched, rummaging and going through stuff to find his phone, and they asked me if they couldn't find the other one, because when they pulled me out of the bed, it fell off the bed, it slid to the edge of the bed. And they asked if there was another phone, and I told them no, that we just had the one. And they went ahead and just took his phone and left. And so I wiggled and I squirmed and I shifted across the upstairs until I got my phone using my teeth. And I went back, but squirmed and wiggled and pushed myself back to where they had left me. Well, then I heard somebody downstairs, sounded like they were coming up the stairs. So I pushed it to the side and tossed it using my face and tried covering it up with a piece of weatherization plastic that we had sitting to the side upstairs. And he came back in and he checked my hands and my binding around my mouth and my ankles and rummaged through some things upstairs, digging through drawers and just generally making a mess and looking through stuff. And then he went back downstairs and I didn't hear any sound for a little while. So I went back over to where I got on the phone and I used my face to open the cover on the phone and pushed it around until I could get the screen to come on, and using my face, my chin and my nose and whatever I could think to turn the phone on and get it to the dialer. I was able to just push around on the dialer until it made a phone call, and it happened to be to my mom. And she kept saying, I can't understand you, I can't understand you. And I was like, Mom, there's someone in the house still, please hurry, I need you now. And she said, what? And I said, I can't understand you, honey, I know you need me, I'm on my way, but what? There's someone in the house? And then she freaked out and had my dad, she kept me on the phone, and then my dad called my aunt, who immediately came over, lives like 8 miles away, and they called the police and got the police on their way, and they came immediately over and searched the area and untied me. And then the police showed up, and I dealt with the police from there.
And what's your aunt's name?
Ginger Kesterson.
Ginger Kesterson.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so the phone call that you made was to your mother.
To Rosie Wohlford.
That was the only phone call that you made.
Yes.
Now, when we were down here at the office, did you call anybody, post anything, do
No.
anything while we were here? Because I know you had your phone still for a while.
Yes. No. They asked for Dagon's phone number, I believe. Yes, they asked for Dagon's phone number, and it's a weird number from this area, so I didn't know that number, so I had to look it up because I can never remember the last 4 digits. He hasn't had that number very long. And so I had to look it up, and it did dial out to his phone when I did that, and I hit end really quick so that it didn't call the number, but I'm trying to get that number for them, yes.
That was the only phone calls that you made? Was
Yes,
while
sir.
you were there, while you were here? Okay. Of course, obviously, you know, we've got the guys we got JoJo in custody, we've got JoJo, Jose, Antonio, Ponce, and Jonathan Sanford. Okay, we've got both of them in custody.
Yes, sir.
For the kidnapping and also the killing of your husband. Okay. Now, while we had them in custody, you know, obviously we want to talk to them and ask them why, what was their reasoning for coming to your house and taking Ernie out of your house and taking him over into Kent County and ultimately taking his life, as to what the reasoning was, why this happened. Okay. Now, in talking with both of them, their reasoning is they did this at your request.
At my request.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't even know them.
Okay. So you have no idea who these gentlemen are?
No, I only met them at the hospital in Charlotte's room.
Okay.
I didn't even.
How long have you known Tay?
He's the mother of my friend's kid, so I hadn't seen Tay in 8 years. And I barely knew him back then.
Wohlford barely had any connection with the men, and they had little to no reason to take such a risk for her.
So you had no idea who these guys were, or any reason why they would want to come over there and do this to you?
No, I do not.
Well, probably.
I was informed that JoJo has some kind of gang affiliation.
Well, here's the problems we've got. Okay, when we brought you up here to talk to you about this, obviously you didn't tell me the whole truth from the beginning about what was going on, that you didn't know these guys, didn't know anything about them. Then finally, after several hours of talking to you, you finally admitted to us that you knew who these guys were. You told us that they had the keys to your house, that they had your car, which you didn't tell us from the beginning that they had your car and they had your keys.
Because, right, to be perfect,
That you didn't tell us any of that information, that you kept that from us for several hours, which if you had told us that information at the beginning, that they had the keys to your house, they had your car, that you knew who these guys were, then we could have possibly stopped them before they had done this to your husband. Okay? Once we did that, not only that, but when the guys were there at the house, they said that you weren't tied up during the majority of this that was going on. But not only that, okay, when you made the phone call to your mother, who was in the house other than you and the kids? Who was inside your house?
there was somebody rummaging around downstairs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, how did the guys know that you called your mother?
I didn't know that they did know I called my mother.
They did, because when we were talking to them, interviewing them, I said, well, how did you know she called her mother? He said, I'm standing there listening to her, watching her, she called her mother.
No,
Yes.
sir, there was
Okay,
not.
that's exactly what happened. You were just as much a part of this as these three
No,
guys
I
were.
was not.
Yes, you were.
No, I was not.
You were just as much a part of, not only that, but when we were pinging their phone, you called your husband's phone from here and told them to turn that phone off when we were trying to ping it to get them located.
No, I didn't.
They told us you did. They told us
No,
that was the
I
reason
didn't.
why they called. That was the reason why they turned the phone off, was because you called them and told them to turn it off because they're pinging the phone.
No, I did not.
Wohlford is pulling out every last scrap of righteous indignation she can muster, but it falls flat. The phone records will confirm she contacted Rhymes.
Well, it's obvious when we got your phone records here that you did call. You did call your husband.
And it was while I was standing here.
Mhm.
You can see it is canceled
Sure, I
call,
understand that.
sir. It was while I was standing here getting. I turned my phone off. It was a canceled call while I was standing here trying to get the number to help be able to get it pinged.
So explain to me how they would know that you were calling your mother if they weren't upstairs with you. How did they know that who you were calling? That was the only phone call you made, and they knew exactly who you called. Explain that to me, Samantha. How did they know you were calling your mother? Because you were part of it, Samantha.
No, I was
you
not.
You were part of this. You're
No.
just as guilty as they are. You
No,
know
I was not.
Yes, you were, Samantha. You knew that they planned. They've all talked to us and planned it. We've talked to several people who said you've asked them. This has been going on for a while. Of you wanting to have him taken out of your life.
No, that is not the case.
You wanted him removed out of your life, didn't you?
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
Then what would these guys? What's the reasoning for these guys to come over to your house, take him out?
I don't know. They kept saying something about his dad.
Mhm.
I don't know. Believe me, I'm trying to figure this out as much as you are.
Well, we've got it figured out, and you're just as involved in it as they are.
No, I'm
Yes,
not.
ma'am.
I'm being as cooperative as possible.
Well, you're being cooperative, but you're not being truthful.
Yes, I am.
There's a difference between being cooperative and being truthful. And you're not being truthful at all to me,
You
Samantha.
can call my mother
You've done
in
nothing
here.
but tell me lie after lie after
No,
lie.
sir, I did
on
not.
top of this. Yes,
You
ma'am,
can call my
did.
mother in here because
Mhm.
when I was on the phone with her told her that somebody was coming back up the stairs.
Mhm.
They could have heard part of the conversation, yes.
No, he said he was standing there watching because you weren't tied up during the whole.
No, yes I was.
No, ma'am, you weren't.
Yes.
I don't believe you, Samantha. I think these guys are telling me the truth about what actually happened. You're not. You're the only one in this equation who's not telling me the truth. Not being honest with me.
Yes,
about this.
I am.
Okay. I don't believe you, Samantha. I don't believe you. All the investigators involved in this don't believe you. The guys out there are telling me exactly what happened. These guys we've got in custody are telling us exactly what happened. Okay? So you need to go ahead and be honest with me and tell me exactly what
I
happened,
am being
Samantha.
honest with you.
You're
I'm
not
walking
being-
you through time, moment by moment.
You're not being honest with me, Sam. You're just as much a part of this as they are. You wanted him out of your life, didn't you?
No, I did
He
not.
was abusive to you. He didn't do right by you and those kids. You wanted him out of your life.
Yes, 6 months ago when we were going through the worst of our problems, I didn't want anything to do with him, and I tried getting a restraining order,
Okay.
but we
Then how
worked
come-
on that.
How come everybody we talked to said the same thing? That's all you would talk about was how horrible he treated you, how horrible he treated the kids, that you want him out of your life.
After he took the anger management courses, he
I'm
was
talking about
fine.
recently at the
That's what I
hospital.
said, no.
Here in the last few days, the last week or two, you talking to people, telling them how you want him out of your life, and how abusive he was to you, how abusive he was to the kids, that you wanted him out. You wanted him gone, removed from your life.
No. I informed you that yes, me and Charlotte were venting back and forth about the problems that we had gone through.
And John,
But that's
knows
because-
about the conversation too, because you said in your statement too that he could take care of that situation for you.
Yes, he did say that, but I didn't think he was being serious. I never in my million years thought he was actually going to do anything.
Yes, you did, because
No, I did
you
not.
gave him the keys to your house. You gave him your car.
I gave him my car to get Charlotte home, pull her in here and ask.
Oh, I understand. That's part of it. Yes, they admitted that was part of it several days before. But then also the part of it for them to come out there and take him away from the house.
That hadn't even been decided for me to give them the car until the day it happened.
Did you Mirandize her?
No, sir.
We're gonna Mirandize her. You're about to be placed under arrest. Let me tell you something. You screwed up the other day, and I'm gonna talk to you if you want to Mirandize you, but you're about to be arrested.
Okay.
You set this whole dead gum thing up.
No, I
didn't know
did
about it.
not.
Yeah, you did.
No, I
You
did
damn
not.
sure did. Don't sit there and that bull crap back to me.
I did not. I
Yeah.
swear I did not say
Now,
that.
yeah, you did set it up, and we proved it. We proved that you set it up. You're a murderer.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you're a murderer.
No, I'm not. I didn't set this
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, you did set it up. With Mirandize her, then she don't want to talk, that's fine. But we're fixing to tell her. We're going to give her an opportunity, but we're going to get Mirandized first, okay? Then if you want to tell us the story, because I'm fixing to tell you what I know. But we've got to Mirandize you legally first now, because you are a suspect.
Can we use the restroom and at least have my dad know?
Just 1 second.
Hey, Samantha. Let me tell you something. I told you the other day, we didn't know. I was just looking into this. But I knew, because you really wasn't a suspect the other day. We had trouble with your story, but just because we have trouble with your story, didn't mean that you're guilty.
Yes, sir.
Okay? But now let me tell you, we've got actually other folks than these that's involved in this that said you had approached them, that they've already given statements on, said that you've asked them to do something with Ibarra. Both these guys now, even Jonathan, turned right around and said, hey, she did ask me to do this. She wanted it. She was never even tied up.
Yes, I was.
No, the door wasn't kicked in. You gave him the keys on the car on purpose. You see, y'all thought y'all had this big elaborate plan, but what it is we've done put it together, and I'm telling you, the evidence shows. Now, this is not me guessing. Evidence shows you had this done. You started it.
No,
You
I
come
did
up with
not.
everything. Yes, you did. You were with them the whole day.
You can pull the footage from the hospital and see how much interaction I had with Mr. Ponce. I didn't even know him.
No.
Yes,
I'm not talking
I-
about Mr. Ponce. I know you didn't know him, but you know Jonathan. You know him well. That's
No, I
why.
did not. I only understood.
No. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. This is how stupid that you were on this deal. This is how careless you are, and this is what bit you. And this is what's fixing to send you to prison. Okay. The day you come in here and you come up, you big scheme, oh, my husband, he was kidnapped. Well, yeah, you're right. That's about the only thing that you told that was the truth. He was kidnapped. You knew they was gonna murder him. You set it up. For one thing, when you called us, that little makeshift tie job, they even told us later, Jonathan even admitted, you was never even tied up.
The items that Wohlford claimed were used to tie her up consisted of one of her own nightgowns and a pink ribbon she said the men brought with them.
He admitted we tried to make the door look like it was kicked in, but they used the key. In fact, the one with the punch, they said he didn't even make use key. They used left it unlocked for him. You was with them the whole day. What was you doing when you were over at Mount Vernon? When y'all went over to see Tay's cousin over there at the motel room?
I didn't go to a motel room.
So was that complete made up by Jonathan then at the time? Because see, he has changed his story today. He's come back here and told us the truth. You set the whole thing up.
No, I did not. The only thing about Mount Vernon that was ever mentioned with them around is we had to go into Walmart so that I could pull money off of my credit card because I have a prepaid electric system.
But your little type job, we were actually knew something was wrong when you said you was tied up. You couldn't get to your phone. Then we saw that crap you're supposed to be tied up with. What a joke. What a joke. Then they come back and tell us, well, actually, she never was tied at all. And then when your mother, when you said you're supposed to call your mother with your face, which I knew was a joke all along, well, guess what? Your mother didn't come over, did she?
Ginger did, and that's because she lived 8 miles away, and my mother called
and
Ginger
that's what they said, because you whistled and called Jonathan back in and told Jonathan, you guys better hurry and get here. Not my mother, but it's a friend that's coming over here to check on me. You guys need to hurry up and go. They both confirmed that.
Not.
Yeah, you're a liar.
No,
you're a liar. Yes, you are. You're a liar, and you murdered this boy. You're just as good as hurting. Yes, you did. The evidence shows it. You're a killer. You're just like them. You set this thing up. You had it done. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. They both admitted it, every one of them. Your little makeshift job at the house is a joke. Everybody, that's easy. Anybody on the jury is going to laugh when they see that.
I told you guys that they had the keys to my house because I was
No, you're a liar. No. The whole thing was made up, and it's easy. Any dummy could go in there and look. You don't even have to be a cop to tell. That bullcrap you pulled there, what's all it was bullcrap. Bullcrap! You set it up. The one that you try to blame, this is what you told first. Well, I don't know who the guys were. Then when I got in here, oh, well, it could be that Jeremy, guy that lives right around the corner from me. Then when I come back here and tell you again, okay, oh, no, I know exactly who it is. It was Jonathan. It was John Rebel. Yeah, you knew all along because you set it up. You knew the guy around the corner from me, that Jeremy, whatever his name was that you told me. I can get his name. You knew he didn't do it. You confronted him and tried to get him to do something like that earlier. He wouldn't do it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
You're a liar. Yes, you did. And then you sit there, you change your story. Oh, well, this one, well, no. How funny is that? That all of a sudden, you don't know. You don't know who did it. And then all of a sudden, behold, it's like a miracle. You just come up with JoJo and Jonathan. These people you don't hardly know out of nowhere. Do you see where you messed up badly?
Yes, I changed my story.
Yes, you did. How many times?
Multiple times.
Multiple times!
But they threatened to kill my kids.
No!
And I know
they didn't threaten to kill your kids. What did you promise them? Was you going to give him his truck? Was you screwing him?
I don't have
you were
anybody.
screwing Jonathan, wouldn't you?
No, I was not.
Uh-huh.
No, I was not.
Yeah, you screwing him.
No, I was not.
Then what was you going to give him, the truck?
I don't have anything to give him. That's how this is so ridiculous that you say that.
I want somebody.
I have anything to do with it.
I want somebody to tell me I'm pretty. And then you admitted that you had talked to him about it. Well, I told him, about beating him up or something. I have to go back and look at the video. You admitted to him, but you talked to him about doing something with him. But I wasn't serious. I wasn't serious.
I did not.
Oh, yes, you did. Well, we are.
Jonathan said that he could do something with it, but I didn't think he would.
Wohlford has been put on the defensive, and she is unable to hold her own against the detective.
Serious? I'm talking to Charlotte.
Yeah, you did, because they did it, and they killed him. They killed him, and you set it up. You set it up. Yeah, you're a liar. Yeah, you can't even get your fake tears out today, can you?
No, I cried so much in my face.
No. You're a liar, and you're a murderer, just like they are. You set it up. You wanted him gone, and I'm just trying to figure out why. Was you screwing Jonathan?
No, sir.
Yeah, you screwing Jonathan.
No, I was not. Please give me a polygraph test. I will take it right now.
Oh no, I asked you that the other day. Let me ask my mama first. And then it's awfully odd how many times did you call this weekend? Update. Then you text me, am I gonna go to jail? Am I gonna go to jail? How many times did you ask me that in the interview today? Oh, am I going to jail? You got a guilty conscience. You know we've proved it. And they've got 2 guys sitting in jail right now, actually even more than them, that have already given a statement saying she set this up. She knew she got to do this. And buddy, is it proved? It is. We have proven it. So I just want to know why. Was you screwing Jonathan? Or did you, what did they, because they tried to take the truck for some reason they didn't. Was you telling them, well, you can have his truck because you're out, you ain't got nothing?
No. He asked them to leave, and he told them that if they would just leave our family alone, they could have the truck. That's the only reason the truck was ever mentioned. That's my husband. I never promised these guys anything. I don't even barely know them. I only met, I only know Jonathan because
that ain't what you said the other day. You don't know who they were. These were Then you know what we did? We've had them apart. We get them in there. And you know what they said? One of them says, well, no, she knew the work, and Jonathan didn't even have a mask on. Well, I'll be, and then Jonathan come in here and says, well, actually, I had it on at first when we went in there and drug, I better out of bed. The fight got knocked off, so I just never put it back on. And he said, oh, and the other one says, well, maybe that's the case. But he says, well, I remember when we went back downstairs, JoJo said he didn't even have one on. All that big act he's putting on, she's down there, and we got him in front. And what they both agree on is they did beat him in front of you a little bit. You're a freaking cold-hearted son of a gun. To have your husband, I'm going to tell you something. He didn't deserve this.
No,
he didn't deserve it.
No, he didn't.
And you did it.
No,
you did it. Yes, you did.
No,
you did every bit of it. You're a liar. You are a liar.
No,
you did every bit of it. You set it up with your own confession. You've already told us that.
No,
oh, yeah, you did. You did. You told us every bit of it when you sat there the other day. You changed your story. Well, I don't know who did it. Well, then it's that guy around the corner. And then I come back in here and tell you, I know you're still lying. Then you change your story to, oh, well, yeah, okay, I know. I can tell you. John Rebel did it. John Rebel did it. John Rebel, and then the JoJo did it. He did it.
Yes, I did.
And then come to find out.
Yes, I did.
You was over there at the house today where Octavius, he was with them. He was the one that was with them that night. And they confessed when we got him in here. Well, Octavius is the one that was with us. Because at first they were saying, oh, this is some guy about her. This is Octavius' cousin. Then he come back and say, well, actually, no, we'd been with her that day. And we set this thing up. Yeah, and it was Tay that was with us.
I told you that Tay was the other person.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Get my statement is right there. Get it. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I wrote Tay Rice was in it. Yes, I did, sir.
But at first you said you didn't know their faces covered up. You said you didn't know who it was. Then all of a sudden, I know it's them.
Once I was actually complete about the first person, I knew who the other two were.
I know right now you're scared to death that you're going to spend a lot of time in jail. The truth is you probably are. Because you're guilty. You did it.
No, I didn't.
Oh, yes, you did. You're nothing more than a murderer. You set this up because apparently, I don't know if you're screwing one of them. No. That's what I think. I think you're screwing Jonathan, wouldn't you?
No, I was not.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll find out because he's going to tell us. He's going to talk to us more. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's something.
Please bring Charlotte Morrison and
what has Charlotte got to do with it? Charlotte's the
one that knows that I didn't know John.
Oh,
you can talk to any of my family members. I did not know John.
Well, I know you didn't good enough to get him to kill your husband.
I did not.
Yes, you did. We've got the proof. We've got the proof to show it. You did.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did. We've got the proof. I think I'm going to tell you something. This young man did not deserve what he got.
He didn't.
Not only did you allow him to be beat in your house, that's just horrible. Then you let him go out and kill him like a mangy dog.
I did not allow anything.
You could have stopped it. If you had told us the truth that night, you knew who did it. You know, you could have stopped that, but you didn't.
No, I didn't.
You didn't tell us. Oh, yeah, you could have stopped it. You could have stopped. Even after you had it done, you still could have stopped it. We would have had time to find them if you'd have said, oh, my gosh, I made a mistake. Here, guys, I can tell you they are. Instead, you lied, and it was the next day, and then they done killed him. You could have stopped it. You could have not done it to begin with, but not hiring or having to do it. Whatever done, had sex with him, whatever you promised him, and then you could have stopped it by being honest, and you didn't. You chose to lie to make sure he was dead.
I lied because the last time I had any dealings with this office, any time I've had any dealings with this office, the case was not solved. And they
Wait a minute! Now you change your story again. Because they threatened to kill me and my children. Now, the last time I lied because I didn't have any luck with this office. You know how stupid that sounds? You know how ultimately stupid that sounds? When you got a young man out there being shot in the dead gum head, and you're sitting over there, you could have stopped it, and you didn't. He's murdered, now he's dead. Everything he had's gone. Well, you're still sitting here lying like a dog.
I'm not lying!
Yes, you are lying!
They're coming back and hurting my kids!
Oh, bull crap! That ain't what you said. You just said it's because this office didn't do anything the last time I done it.
The last time
You said it's you! It's your
please listen to
It's your parents! Now all of a sudden, oh, well, it's back to me again. You don't know what to say,
Would
did
you
you?
listen for 5 seconds? The last time I had any dealings with this office, the case was not solved.
Oh, that's the reason that your husband get murdered.
My sister was raped and the rapist was not
that's the reason. That's the reason to kill him, isn't it?
No.
You could have stopped
I
him.
did not
You
kill
could
him.
tell us the truth. You killed him. Just as
No, I didn't.
You killed him. You could have stopped it.
I did not.
Yes, you didn't stop it. You could have, and you didn't.
I didn't.
I'm tired of wasting my time with you. You just stay right here. I'll be right back. Let's see if that warrant's in there yet. Lock you up.
The detectives are almost done with Wohlford. They have plenty of evidence, and it is clear that she is not going to tell them anything they don't already know.
I'm going to show you what you could have stopped. What do you think? What do you think? You could have stopped that. Uh-huh. And why didn't you stop it? Because we didn't do anything last time. Is that right? Because we didn't solve your sister's rape. That's why you didn't stop this. Huh? Is that why? You didn't stop it. You could have. You could have stopped it. You knew they took it. You knew the names all along. You didn't stop it. That's how he ended up, except he was face down. We done turned him over by then. He was face down, murdered like some mangy animal that means nothing. A human being. This kid did not deserve this. He did not deserve this. He don't deserve you. You could have stopped it. You remember that. You didn't. You could have. You knew all along. You proved that because you told us the truth at the end. Okay, I know who did it. Go get them. They're at the hospital. You even told us where to find them. You didn't do it.
I told you where to find them because he texted me and said they were at the hospital.
I'll be back. Might get some more pictures and show you because you need to look at these. I want you to stare at these. You could have stopped it. Samantha, you could have. You didn't. You chose not to. You knew the truth all along. You chose not to. What do you think? Why didn't you stop it again? Because your sister was raped?
Because
And we didn't do anything?
they never arrested the person that did this.
Oh,
did
and that's a
something to my
reason to let
sister.
him be murdered.
And I didn't want the person coming after my kids.
You change your story?
Even Wohlford appears to believe that is a weak reason, but she continues to double down.
More than anybody?
I'm not changing it. I've done that a million times.
Sam, forgive me for getting a little excited there, but you know what? A human life means something to me. It does. It does. No. Nah, we've proven it, hun. You're cooked on this deal. That any common sense person at all is going to look at this in a jury and see right through all this makeshift. Even they admitted it was makeshift. We knew it was before they even told us. We just had to prove it. I think it's sad that you could have stopped that and you didn't. Your excuse, do you think your excuse is going to fly with a jury with women in there that's got children, and they're going to be thinking, oh my gosh, if that was my child, she could have stopped it and she didn't, and that's the pitiful excuse that you come up with? Hun, your story's gone. Your story ain't going to fly because you made way too many mistakes in this deal getting this thing going.
I'm trying to protect my kids. I know these people have friends and family.
No, it's not about your children. It's about you and Ibarra, and about how he can say you was pretty, how he was mean to you, and how you was wanting something done with him because he wasn't treating you right.
That is not the case.
Mm-hmm.
Way in the past, yes, we had our problems, and up until he was arrested, and I put a restraining order for him not come back around. Yes, we had our problems. We had a lot of them. And then he went and he took anger management, and you can verify that through the anger management course. And once he took the anger management and he learned how to control his temper.
That means nothing to me. That means nothing to me. You know what means something to me? He's dead. He was murdered brutally. He was tormented. That young man was in pure torment. And I'm going to make sure we show the jury the torment he went through. They beat him. They kicked him in the face right there in your own home. And
They did not kick him in the face.
You did nothing. You did nothing.
What can I do? The guy had a gun in his hand and I had a knife to
You
make
did
problems.
nothing. Well, for one thing, you couldn't ask them to do it. Another thing, you knew who they were. You could have told us immediately. We could have found them and could have stopped them. He would still be alive.
I was terrified.
No, you weren't terrified.
Yes, I was.
You and you weren't terrified at all. No, and you weren't terrified because you wouldn't even tie it up. You told him in the morning, hey, it's not my mama coming, it's one of her friends. You guys better hurry up and get out of here. That's exactly what they wrote. Exactly, it matches with everything. Matches with everything to a T. It matches to show that you're a liar. That's why I say we've got plenty of proof to show you set this thing up, hon.
No, I didn't.
You could have stopped it, and you didn't.
No, I didn't.
Because my sister's right before God ever solved it. That's a reason to let a young man get murdered.
No. The reason I didn't
scared to death, hauled out of his underwear, pulled out of his bed, beaten, taken into the woods, and shot like a dog. God, that's sad. That is brutal. That's cruel. That is brutal. And you could have stopped it that night as soon as we called. You could have said, hey, look, these guys took him. I can tell you exactly who did it. Okay, this is the kind of car they're driving. In fact, they were in your...
The detective tries to shock Wohlford into making an admission of guilt. This tactic works on some suspects, but Wohlford is surprisingly resilient.
Your car. They used your car. You knew it all along. You got on the keys. That's why you gave them the keys.
No, it's not.
Yes,
no, it's not.
Yes,
no,
it
it's
is.
not. I gave
Yes,
them the keys to take Charlotte and her baby home.
Oh, the day before? You gave them the keys the day before to take her home?
No, she had her mother's truck there the day
so
before.
they have a way to come back all three together and kill your husband.
No, the baby was born on the 18th. She had her mother's vehicle there with her. It wasn't until the day that they did this that her mother came and took her vehicle, and Charlotte was freaking out, didn't know how she was going to get her baby home, and I told her that she could use my car.
So you just so happened to give the three killers the keys to your car.
I gave John the keys to my car so that he could take Charlotte home from the hospital, come back and pick me up, and I drive him
home. You look
home.
like you're innocent, but in the meantime, you gave him the keys really so he could come back out there and kill your husband.
No, I didn't.
They know them bums have a car that lived in tents in Pittsburgh behind the house.
I didn't know that.
break. Yeah, you did, because even the people at the house said you was over there with your kids that day.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
No, it wasn't. I was in the hospital with Charlotte.
Not all day, you wouldn't.
Yes, I was. Up until I had to go to Walmart and they took me home. No, I don't know anything about Jose Quaz. And the only reason I know anything about Tay is because he has his kids with a friend of mine. I haven't seen Tay in 8 years up until I saw him at the hospital, and we caught up and talked some about the problems he had with his baby mama.
You are a good actress, I'm sorry. Yeah, you putting on a good show.
It's not a show!
killed your husband.
No, I did not.
You could have stopped it.
I might have been able to help you, and maybe it would have done something. Yes, and I'll have to live with that forever.
Thank you.
And I'll have to live with that forever. But I did not get this. I did not have this done.
So I'm still trying to figure out a good excuse why you didn't help us.
I did not because they said they were going to kill my kids. They have friends and family members, and I looked like a scary guy in the parking lot, and he had a gun.
We've proven that a lie.
That is not a lie. That is the
Give him
truth.
the keys, like come in your house.
I gave him the keys to take Charlotte home from the hospital.
Now that's the excuse you're going to use so they could kill him, and then you can make it look like it was something on his daddy did, or because of his.
That's what they said in person.
No, you could have stopped it and you didn't. I'm still trying to figure out why you didn't. That's why. Let's just pretend I'm a judge and there's a jury right here. Young lady, you could have stopped his murder and you didn't. You told lie after lie after lie before you finally come out with the truth. Well, many hours after he had done been taken, you knew he was dead. You could have stopped it and you didn't.
Because I was terrified they were going to
No,
come back and
that ain't
take
what
my
you said.
kids.
No, that ain't what you said a while ago. You said it's because your sister was raped. We never solved it.
And the man who raped her is still out walking around. If it got back to them that I had turned them into the police and nothing was done and they were still out walking around, they could have came back to finish the job and get my kids.
You talking about the ones that killed Reuben?
Yes. Ibarra. Yes,
Ibarra?
my husband.
Well, then why did you tell us if you're scared? You told us. Why?
Because I wanted him home.
No.
I wanted him
You didn't want him home.
Yes, I
You
did.
could have told us when he was taken, and you didn't. You waited until he was dead. But so you can't be afraid he's gonna come back and eat your children because you told us anyway.
Because you said that and you promised me that you would protect my kids.
No, I never made that promise.
Yes, you did.
No.
You told me you understood. I was scared.
So let's say I did make that promise. So we couldn't have made that promise that night to go. You didn't trust
I
us.
was scared. I was shocked.
No, you wasn't scared. You wanted to make sure the only thing you scared of is you knew he might have been dead already, and that you was worried about going to jail.
Then why did I finally tell you the truth?
Well, because
I think
because you're so worried about getting arrested, I think that you slipped up accidentally because you knew I was on to you, and you happened to give me something else, and you spit that name out, and then it was over. Because you knew the one that you told before said Libside, you wouldn't know Pat out, because if you go over and talk to him, you knew that. You knew that's going to be saying, hey, wait a minute, she's crazy. But you know what? The ones we grabbed, they didn't say you're crazy. They got back as soon as we grabbed it, and they said, well, yeah, but we need to talk to you about it because there's more to it than what you think. And then the one said, well, I'll take you the body. But she's the one that put us up together.
No, I did not.
Yeah. There's no other reason for them to do that. They had no beef against this kid. You didn't know him. They didn't know him. He didn't know. Ibarra didn't know them.
Then how is it that I supposedly talked him into doing this?
That is an excellent question. Unfortunately, a full explanation is never given. Sanford and the others had no reason to commit murder per Wohlford.
Huh?
I didn't know.
I don't know. That's what I want you to tell me.
That's what I'm telling you. I don't know.
You your own words. You said, well, the reason this is what I was just watching an interview with me. You know what you said? See, you say things you don't even remember. Well, the reason there's blood in that truck is because they had to go in there and get his wallet to make absolutely sure it was him. They had no beef against this boy.
That's what they said in person.
No, they didn't.
That's
You're a
what they said
liar.
in person.
You had it done.
No,
You
I
could
did
have
not.
stopped it, and you didn't.
No, I did not.
Then you keep changing your stories.
No, I did not. I'm telling you exactly what I know. And the guy that was hitting him in the face with the gun told the other guy to go get his wallet to be sure who this was. They kept saying, you hate your dad for this.
No, they tried to make it at first in front of him, make it look like you didn't know what was going on, but that didn't work out because during the struggle, John Reynolds, the bandana got ripped off, so he never put it back on. And he said, she knew I wasn't on. I never put my bandana back on.
Why would they be trying to make it look like I didn't know anything about it? Why wouldn't they be trying to
I
put
don't know.
everything on me to save their own skin?
Probably because you screwed one of them.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, something.
No, I wasn't.
They just didn't do this for nothing. You promised them something.
I told you,
But
give me
what we
a
can prove-
polygraph test.
what we can
I will
prove
tell you. It'll
is
tell
you
you
did have
what
what
I'm
you did.
being honest about.
Already asking you, well, I got to talk to my mama first.
I am telling you right now, on camera, I want a polygraph test. I want you to know that I'm telling the truth. And if you don't believe me just by talking to me, get a machine to tell you if I'm telling the truth.
Nope, don't need it. I've done proved otherwise. I don't need your polygraph now. I done proved it. Huh? We done proved you're a liar. We done proved you had this done. We done proved
I didn't have this
you
done.
could have stopped it and you didn't.
I didn't have
You
this
could have
done.
stopped it and you didn't. You let them murder that young man. I don't care if he wasn't good to you or not. That is no excuse to kill a person. You could have kicked him out. You could have left. You could have done anything other than had him killed. And you should
I
have
had
not.
no reason to want him killed.
You knew all along who they were, and you chose not to. Why? Well, we've got about 3 or 4 different stories on that from you already too, haven't we?
It's not 3 or 4 different stories.
Well, yes, it is.
No, it's not.
First, it was you're scared.
I was scared.
Well, my sister was raped.
No, now you're trying to twist my words. No, now you're trying to twist things around to fit what you wanted.
Well, I was scared again.
No, now you're trying to twist it around to the way you want it. I was scared that they were not going to be actually taken in off the street and never going to come back and get my kids because of previous history with this office that they didn't pick up the person.
Nope, that's another, see, that's story changed again.
No, it's not.
See, here's, because if you're scared of that, you'd never told it. You stuck to your story to begin with and never told. But you let him die. You did. Well, it makes you a murderer.
I'm not a murderer.
Oh, yes. Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Same thing. You had it done. You could have stopped it, and you didn't. You chose not to. You let this young man be brutalized, scared to death, die begging for his life. And then they shot him like a mangy dog. You could have stopped it. This young man didn't deserve that.
No,
He didn't deserve you. He didn't deserve that. And you did it. You let it happen. You had it done. And then you could have stopped it, and you did it. That is bad. That is horrible. You could have stopped it. You didn't.
Do you have the warrant yet? Excuse me.
Yeah, we've got it. We're fixing to start. Sit down.
I want an attorney.
Huh?
I want an attorney.
Yeah, I bet you do. You want an attorney? You'll have to go through the process because you're about to be arrested, so this interview's over. We will not talk to you again without an attorney. Is that understood?
Can I make my one phone call?
Yeah, we'll get you back in the jail, man. As soon as we get you booked in, okay?
The interrogation ends, leaving Wohlford in a state of sulkiness. Samantha Wohlford was found guilty of kidnapping and murder. She was sentenced to 99 years in prison. Still seeking attention, Wohlford has requested that people sign up to become pen pals and exchange calls. If you enjoyed this video and want to support me further, there's a Patreon link in the description where you can do just that.